Sup guys, it's Corrupted
And it's Dragon.
with Ramen for the Soul.
Back at it again.
Yeah, so this week's going to be a double episode.
Quote unquote.
Because we missed last week.
Your boy was out of town.
So we're just going to play a little game of catch up. So last week's might be a little shorter than normal just because not a ton for the metaphor really happens. Besides like the stuff with Hancock, but we'll get there in a second.
Yeah, it's just most of this is rise in action, but we pretty much gonna get through the whole Impel down in this episode.
Just about.
Yeah, the only thing we'll be missing is like the actual leave part.
I think there's only 2 more episodes in Impel Down, or like 1.5.
No, it's like 1.5. Cause they pretty much gone. Cause at 450, I think it's literally them. The episode where Bond, gets in there and takes sacrifice. Is it? Well, that and then they pretty much got the leave, the set off episode.
But then there's the episode where it shows like, because I don't think 451's the episode where Blackbeard's like, hey, you want to come with us, Shiryu? I think that's 452.
No, we get all the way past that. I think. We get all the way past that.
Or not Shiryu. Yeah, he's already, but he hasn't gotten Devon and what's it called?
I couldn't tell you.
To remember, he gets
them after.
Immediately clapped by Magellan.
But yeah.
But so this last week's episode, 401 starts with them in the bar.
Shaki's bar.
What's it called? Like Shakedown Bar? I think.
Shaki's. I think it's just Shaki's bar.
I thought it was like the English name for it is like Shakedown Bar because it's supposed to be like a name on Shaki's name, play on Shaki's name.
It could be.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're talking and find out Riley knows the secrets of the world from his time with Blackbeard, and he's just like, "Hey guys, you want to know it?" And Luffy's just like, "I'd rather die than you tell me."
Exactly. Back to Luffy pretty much trying to stay true to his own voyage, not having those shortcuts again.
He's like,
because at this point,
tell me or kill myself.
At this point right now, he's turned down Rayleigh's offer for more information, and he's turned down what was it? I think it was who else?
He also doesn't want to know if it exists. It's not just the secrets.
It was someone else he turned down at this point. I want to say it was Cobra or somebody in Alabasta.
Oh, you're talking about was it Gonfall? It was somebody who was just like, I know a little bit more about it. He's just like, I don't care. It's not. It doesn't matter.
He turned down Zeph's notebook.
Oh, that's what you're
Zeph's logbook.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about Zeph's logbook.
But
it's been a while since we covered it.
The reason he turns it down though isn't because like what you would think, like he wants to find it for himself. That's not why. Like that's like a logical conclusion you can draw from why he says it, but it's not the express reason why.
Yeah.
The express reason why he turns it down is because he says a journey that you know the end to isn't an adventure at all.
Exactly.
Like it's not an adventure if he knows how it's going to end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. You want to know because the whole totality of his adventure is the unknowing is of when it will end. Even meeting his own death is something that's, he wants to be kind of spontaneous.
Well, he's legit just saying, he's literally just saying it's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
That's literally what he's saying. Like when he says that, he's just like, I don't give a fuck. About that part. I just care about how it's gonna go. It's kind of cool. Like it's just one of those like you wouldn't expect him. Like you might be like, oh, he wants to know if it's real or not. No, he does not want to know if the One Piece real. He wants to keep it is it real or is it not? He wants to be agnostic.
Yep.
He wants to be One Piece agnostic.
He wants to be the one to figure out if it's real or not with his own eyes, not somebody telling him. Which makes I respect it.
And then what's it called? Rayleigh tells him like he's gonna have to conquer the seas to do it, and he says, Luffy responds, I'm not gonna conquer anything. The one who is the most free is the Pirate King. Like he doesn't he doesn't realize that he actually has to like conquer something, which like goes into the whole thing. Like he's still the camel. He doesn't know.
Yeah, he's definitely still the camel.
Like he's just taking burdens on. He doesn't know what it actually means. Like because to be truly free, it's like you know who Jocko Willink is, the Navy SEAL guy that has a podcast.
Jocko Willink. No.
So he's got
the only dude I know that's like got some military background with a podcast is the Sean something.
I know
guy.
who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But Jocko Willink, he has a book, and it's called Discipline Equals Freedom. And it's like the entire book is about how like if you're disciplined, you have more freedom than anybody without discipline. But that's like the story Luffy doesn't know yet.
Right.
Like he learns it in Wano. Like he 100. Like he learns that in Wano. But at this point, he doesn't know that discipline gives him the freedom that he seeks. But he's like slowly gonna learn it over time. Like Rayleigh's about to spend, like in like 75 episodes, we're gonna see Rayleigh's gonna spend 2 years beating it into his head with the stick.
Pretty much.
Like literally with the stick.
Like not even metaphorically. This is literal.
Yeah, he actually uses a stick
with a stick.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes blindfolded, bro.
Yeah. He beats. But the entire idea is like if you're disciplined, you're not a slave to your time anymore. Like that's the entire idea of the book. It's like he's saying like if you like wake up at 4 a.m. and you work out, since you were disciplined enough to do that, you don't have to worry about working out for the rest of the day. So you're free to do what you want in the time frame you normally wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like that's like the entire premise. That's basically like Rayleigh's pointing out to him. Like you don't realize it that you need the discipline to conquer the seas without trying to control it to be the Pirate King. And Luffy's just too young and too naive to understand, which is about to roll into everything that happens next.
And that's crazy too, because it's like in Luffy's head, it's like that's exactly what he wants to do, but he doesn't know that's exactly what he wants to do because he's too young to really grasp that idea. Yes, he wants to be free. Yes, he wants to be Pirate King, and you don't want to control the things, but you have to be able to discipline yourself to the point to where you can control yourself in order to sway the factors around you, besides just trying to, take them on, because that's what everybody before up until this point did. They were trying to be the person that moves the seas instead of just moving with the seas.
Yeah, like everybody, like at this point, it's why Shanks is, in my opinion, Shanks and Garp, they're the two strongest people in the because we're about to get confirmation that Shanks is stronger because he has a skirmish with Kaido and he's the one that makes it to Marineford and pretty Kaido doesn't. That heavily implies that he's stronger. Heavily. But like the whole thing is Shanks is the most disciplined person in the entire show. Yep. But 100%. He's probably the strong. Like we haven't had it confirmed, but he's up there.
He's up there.
He's in the top 10 for sure. He's probably in the top 5.
No, definitely top 5.
Like,
definitely top 5.
I'm giving us a little wee room because that way we can say the gore. Like, if they want to say the gore stays above it, and we just got confirmation who number 1 is of all time. Yeah. But like the whole thing is Luffy doesn't understand that the discipline that he hates so much is exactly what he needs to do everything. And it's really cool is once you get to Dressrosa, he starts to realize it because. Like that's why I enjoy Dressrosa. Like the stuff that made me not like Luffy as a character. He started to get it. Yep. It's like wait a minute.
Because it takes a while still. Because even before all this, like dummy looking into it, I thought Luffy. This was the point in which I thought Luffy transferred over into the line. But as rewatching and seeing still. Like how much like mistakes that he makes that he has to get pulled out of, it lets me know he's still very much so in the camel after all of this. He's learning how to be the lion. He doesn't really know, but he's
I think the more accurate way to do it is like he's slowly learning that he has to become the lion.
Yeah.
Not that like he learns
because he doesn't have
an
example to look at. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I wouldn't even say like he has an example to look at. Like there's Rayleigh. Like Rayleigh's like one of the most dangerous people in the world.
Saying he was learning to be the lion would mean that he would have a direct example to learn from. But it's just understanding, like you said, he has something, the lion he has to become. So he sees the stuff that he's doing.
Like he
sees that he has to become it and does so.
Well, like he does have an example. Like if you want to be like meta about it with Shanks, because his entire thing is he wants to be exactly like Shanks
for the most part. And
like Shanks is the best pirate in the world. But like you learn later on, he does none of the pirate stuff. He's just like Luffy with it.
Yeah, he
just does what he needs to do.
Yeah, he just does what he needs to do. Chill. And he's pretty much like, I think Luffy wants to be a step like Shanks, but a step higher in what he does. I think
his because you know how being the Pirate King isn't Luffy's actual goal. He has another goal.
Yeah.
And the Pirate King just makes it the other goal come true.
Yep.
I think that his other goal is Shanks admit that he's a better pirate. That's my theory.
Hey,
you gotta admit that's the most Luffy thing, and it makes everyone's reaction to him saying that makes perfect sense. Because Zoro's just like, I would have expected nothing less.
And I feel
like, what are you stupid?
Luffy, the type of person Luffy was, it wouldn't cross his radar until Shanks just said it. Like, oh, Luffy becomes such a great pirate, probably even better than me, and then that would be just like the crowning achievement to everything Luffy has done at that moment. Like, but it wouldn't really be much. Like, of course, he still wants the One Piece stuff, but to hear his idol say that he's one of the greatest, probably even better than him, which is
Shanks can't say that unless Luffy gets the One Piece, because then he's just wrong.
I wouldn't say that, because he gave Luffy the straw hat saying, give it back to me when you'd be a great pirate. And I don't think, like, being a great pirate didn't constitute him finding the One Piece. I think he's already a great pirate. But as far as what constitutes at what point he became great, that's the part. Because, like, even where we are now, he's done so much. Like, because... Well, not even just where we are right now, haven't talked about Impel Down yet. He's already went into the teeth of the world government, said, F your whole flag and your whole dynasty, I'm him.
Yeah, he declared war on the world government.
He done already knocked out one of their subordinates already and survived another one. Like, knocked out Crocodile and survived Kuma's onslaught. So it's like, really? Like You can say right now he becomes great, and even what he does in these next 2 arcs and Impel Down the Marineford, really, he could have gave that straw hat back right there if he wanted to, but that's not the pirate Luffy wants to be. He would have told you he was a great pirate, and I don't think he could
give back the hat yet.
I don't even want him to give back the hat. We being honest.
Like, I don't even
want him to give back the hat.
I don't think he can give back the hat until he can beat Shanks in a 1v1 fight.
I can
like sort of like, I know you haven't seen Hunter x Hunter, but it's sort of like when Hisoka gives the badge to Gon, and he's just like, you're gonna owe me until you can punch me squarely in the face, and I can't do anything about it. That's what Hisoka tells Gon. Mm-hmm. And then they have a fight, like a UFC style fight, and Gon catches him with this crazy hook. And then Gon just walks up to him and hands him the badge. And then Hisoka's like, okay, you're finally a man. And then Hisoka actually starts fighting.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Luffy can't give the straw hat back until something like that happens.
No, I can agree with that wholeheartedly.
Also, if you haven't seen Hunter x Hunter, go watch it.
But the thing is, like, I wouldn't even want, like, Luffy's put so much of identity behind that straw hat. Like,
what if his wish is to not need the straw hat anymore?
I don't know. I don't think he'd do that, because the thing about it, he's been so protective over it through the years.
Yeah, but like he needs it as a symbol to show him where he needs to go. It like shows him the direction that he's supposed to. You know what I mean? Like
sort of.
Because like the whole thing we're talking about it, like it's like a metaphor for the sun, right?
Yeah, but
what if like his dream is to not need it anymore? Like the symbol it represents.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I don't think Luffy's smart enough to want that, but.
I don't think he would want to not, because just there's so many things, like when you unconsciously want something, because he's unconsciously straight up out of his sleep, where's my hat?
Yeah.
Like that's a big deal. Like,
we're actually about to get to a moment where that happens.
Yep.
So they talk to Riley. Luffy's just like, he legitimately says in the manga, I don't remember exactly what he says in the anime, but in the manga he says, I would rather die than you tell me about the One Piece. Mm-hmm. Like, not just that it's what it is, but that it exists. He doesn't even want to know if it's real or not. Like, that's his whole thing. He just wants the adventure of finding it. He doesn't actually care about the other parts of the One Piece.
At all.
Like, whatever else has to do with it. And then Kizaru shows up, beats all the other supernovas without even trying. You know? Like, all of them. Well, except for Bonnie. Bonnie escapes.
Yeah, Bonnie.
But
the hell up out of there.
We probably know how she escaped. But, like, in the future, like, the implication of how she got away makes sense. But the rest of them, like, Kizaru just solos 4, or was it 5 of them by himself? Because, what's his name? The Mad Monk gets his butt kicked by Pacifista. Also, what's interesting about, like, I noticed I know size doesn't actually matter in One Piece because Oda's not consistent with how he draws heights because he just wants to draw what looks the best in the scene, which is part, like, it makes sense. But it's interesting that how Aruja's or however you say his name, how his devil fruit works, because I forgot what it's called. Is it called the giant fruit? It's called
no.
Whenever
I don't
he
know
takes
what his devil fruit is.
I know what it does. I don't know what it's called. It's he can turn physical damage into size and strength. That's how he grows big. Like, he grows to Kuma size from it. Like, he gets his butt kicked by Kuma, and he's just like, I finally absorbed enough. And then he transforms and he's Kuma size. So I wonder, like, because of what we know about devil fruits, how they're like from people's imaginations, dreams, and beliefs. What if it was somebody wishing that they could be a buccaneer? Because he's the same size as Kuma when he uses it.
You don't have to.
I know. I just say it's like
you don't have
it's
to
an interesting
wish
idea.
That to be a buccaneer, because you can wish like just to be bigger, and that's something that can come from that.
That's true. That's true. I'm just saying it was just based on what's happening. Like, when you're caught up, it was just an interesting observation.
No, I understand.
Like, it was like one
of those hindsight 2020 things.
There's like
that you always have to do when you're freaking dealing with Oda, because as we see, every small thing turns out to be a freaking foreshadow. Yeah,
because like what's it called? There's not that many people the same size as Kuma, because Kuma's like 12 feet tall.
I mean, besides Whitebeard and Doflamingo.
Well, he's taller.
Doflamingo's up there.
Yeah, Doflamingo's
surprisingly.
But also, Doflamingo's special. He's a celestial dragon. But also, the other celestial dragons aren't that tall. But, like, it's just
we start to see gigantification more common in the later chapters, for sure.
Yeah, because everyone wants to be like the giants, because they're the baseline strongest. Like the average giant is stronger than the average fishman, and the average fishman is stronger than the average human. So it was just an observation that I thought would be an interesting thing if if Oda ever went back to it, and I hope he goes back to it at some point. And then when that happens, when they're like leaving the bar, the Straw Hats are leaving the bar, Kuma shows up shortly after they leave the bar, and there's something weird about Kuma, and Zoro's immediately just like, I don't think this is Kuma. Something's weird about him. I'm not sure what it is.
Got off.
Yeah. Like, before he even saw what this new Kuma did, like this Kuma could do, he was just like, that's not Kuma. This dude feels like a machine. He doesn't feel like a living, breathing person.
Yep.
And it takes all of Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy's strength that they have at the time. And not Luffy, but Zoro's still recovering from when he took all of Luffy's pain. But to defeat this Kuma, and all they do is knock it out. They don't actually do major damage to it. They don't
do any major damage to it at all.
And then
it's just like, it was another one of those moments where they get you to see just how far they need to go. It's like another wall. It's like with Pacifista show that they hit another wall in their power, which was a good one, because we just saw Kuma in the previous arc, really for the truly the first introduction of him, not to the story, of course, but to his character and like his power and all that. We got all that just the last chapter. Last arc. So just to come up in the next arc and you see him being a model for a pacifista was just crazy. Because Kuma in of himself was a wall. Because you saw how strong he was and what he could do. Straw Hats could do nothing about him in Thriller Bark. And then you just get to Sabaody and he's back. Except he's different. It's
not just that. Like, we saw, like, no one but Usopp could deal with Perona and he just one-shots her.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that. And Moria acted scared of him. Like, not necessarily scared, but just, like, he, like, made sure not to say anything crazy like he normally does around Kuma. Like, it just implies that Kuma is much more powerful.
Yep.
And then, like, there's a version of Kuma that shoots laser beams now.
Yep.
And they're not normal laser beams. They're actually, we learned that they're Kizaru's laser beams.
Yep.
So they're much stronger than a normal laser beam.
Yep.
And then after they beat that guy, a dude named Sentomaru, the axe.
Axe-wielding Sentomaru.
And another pacifista. I think this one's pacifista number 4.
PX4, yeah.
Because I think PX2 is the one they knock out.
Yeah.
Because Kuma is PX1.
Yeah, Kuma is PX1.
Or is he PX0?
No, he's 1.
I thought he was 1.
PX1.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. So Sentomaru shows up, and Sentomaru, like, he kind of gets done dirty here, but you see, like, Sentomaru is actually super fucking strong.
Yep. Like, really super strong. Not even, like, it's crazy how...
Like, he's Vice Admiral level.
Yeah, they undermine his strength in the beginning a lot. And I ain't gonna lie, when he comes back later, in the later chapters, it was almost like, to see him and how strong he was, it felt kind of, like, unbelievable. But coming back watching again, it makes sense why it was unbelievable. Because he was really, like, he was stronger than he was shown here.
Yeah, like, the whole thing is he probably knows, like... Because he believes that he owes you-know-who his life. So he probably wasn't trying to kill them because he probably is interested in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he knows the big man probably knows who Luffy is. And that could be why Sentomaru, like...
I don't know about it at this point, but...
No, like, he would know, he would put 2 and 2 together with the name.
Yeah, nah, probably not. I mean, yeah, but you can say he probably did, but I don't know about at this point.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Vegapunk.
Yeah, I say you can probably say he did, but at this point, probably not really.
Well, remember, he's friends with Dragon, so...
Yeah, but at this point, nobody even knows that he's Dragon's son.
But I'm just saying, if you're
nobody
friends with somebody...
knows right now, though.
Yeah, I get that, besides Garp. And Sengoku.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if the smartest man in the world sees 2 people with the same first name and the same middle name.
No, I know. No, the whole...
and Vegapunk knows that he has a son.
We know what happened. We know what happened. Kuma's what happened with this whole situation.
Yeah, he also... Yeah, there is that too. But I'm just saying, like...
Kuma had control over this whole situation.
What I'm saying, though, is Sentomaru probably could have one-shot Luffy.
He wanted to.
He just didn't.
He just didn't, yeah. I don't think Sentomaru's whole thing was stopping Luffy right there. I think because you know the whole part right here, this part of Sabaody wasn't really just Luffy. It was everybody else, but Luffy got the Admiral's call there. But, like, Sentomaru, I think he was just... That's why I say all this makes sense. That's why I feel like Egghead and stuff was playing, because you put Sentomaru and Kizaru here when you get to later and they show up at the same time again, and like Sentomaru being the figure that he's shown, just axe wielding defense, that you know, stamp for like the Navy or whatever. I think that's more. Also,
it's not. He also has, like, we don't know what it is called yet, but he also has advanced armament hockey.
Yeah, some kind of crazy armament hockey, but you see like how Sentomaru is, like, he really, like, was overseeing the pacifista for the most part, and we see how just important the pacifista are and everything that they do, because that was supposed to be their original regiment in order to stop, you know, that was their original replacement for the 7 warlords, was the pacifista. And
then, like, they're gonna come up with an even better one.
Yeah.
But it's all thanks to Kuma, though. That's the big thing. Like, all the big plans that they have is thanks to Kuma.
For the most part.
And then, so, the stuff with Kuma's happening. And then, or not the stuff, but the stuff with the pacifistas. And then actual Kuma shows up, holding his Bible with gloves on. And as soon as he sees him, he
Christ compels you.
He doesn't even, or actually it propels you in Kuma's case. Like, Zoro just sees him for a second. He's like, that's the real one. Like, it just shows you that, like Zoro's getting it. Like, it's clicking with Zoro. You know what I mean? Like, like, he understands, like, more than he lets on. So it's just like, how the fuck do you keep getting lost, my dude? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when that happens. But, excuse the yawn. Sorry. So it keeps going. They run away. And Kuma just one by one just slaps them.
Like, just get up out of here, cuz.
And each of the Straw Hats thinks that Kuma has killed them. Yep. Like, the ones that
they don't know how his power works. Even Luffy himself is pretty much thinking it's over.
Yeah, Luffy thinks he's dead when he's flying. He's just like, am I on my way to heaven? What?
Because, like, when you look at where their journey had came up into that point, Luffy had never seen his crew go through so much disarray and stuff, and he feels like it was on his call because, of course, you know, we're too weak. We got to run away. We can't do this, and they're just going away one by one. And I still love the symbolic, you know, the bubbles popping as they go away. I thought that was still cool because those same bubbles, when they first got to Sabaody, was just so, you know, good things, and, you know, bubbles fun, and we have fun with the bubbles, and to them being symbolic of y'all just perishing all the time.
Do you know what the symbol for Kuma's teleportation is in the manga?
What?
It's like a loading circle.
Really?
Yeah. Like funny. Like the old Windows loading from like Windows Vista, where it's like the 10 lines in a circle, and it's like some of them are bigger than the other ones. That's what it's like, a loading circle. It's just like your brain realizing that it's not there. Yep. It's like how it's drawn, which I think is just a nice little touch, because it could mean like anything.
Yeah, no, it definitely gives it open-ended for like a lot of stuff. But, you know, this pretty much, even the narrators and stuff call them like the Straw Hat Pirates being completely annihilated. You know, like,
when are we meeting the narrator, by the way?
Man, look, I don't even want to get into those theories.
Because, like, Wano's narrator is, like, done like a, like, what's that? The shadow puppet play in the manga. It's, like, set up like the shadow, like it's a shadow puppet play and stuff. So I'm curious, who's the narrator?
The theory is that it's Brook, and it's him talking after everybody else died. And I
think it's just
I don't like thinking about that.
I think it just confirms that Cameraman is indeed the strongest character in the verse.
But yeah, pretty much after they get annihilated, we go straight to Luffy and him flying to Amazon Lily.
Well, he flies to a place that he doesn't know where it is. And what's weird is he knew what the mushrooms were. Like, he's an idiot, but he knows all these mushrooms.
Yep.
And I like the reason that he knows a lot about bugs and mushrooms. Do you know what the reason is?
I mean, I could imagine it was from when him, Ace, and Sabo were in Future Village and Great Terminal, that's all they had to do, because they trained in the forest all the time.
It's because Ace and Sabo likes beetles and mushrooms, and he just copied as much as their personality as he could.
That makes sense.
Because he respected them so much.
That makes sense.
Like, there's a the reason that he likes beetles so much is when they were kids, Sabo and Ace would see who could find the biggest beetle and make the beetles fight each other. And then when Luffy got old enough and lived there, he would do it with them too. I just thought it was a nice touch. But that's why he knows all that stuff, is because Ace and Sabo know it.
Mm-hmm.
But when he lands, he eats, he notices some mushrooms. And he's just like, oh, this is a laughing mushroom. Well, first, he runs into a wall. The wall doesn't hurt him, and he's just like, why didn't that hurt? And he's like, oh, my powers are back, sort of thing. He eats a giant boar. Also, did you know he ate every piece of the boar?
Mm-hmm.
Even the skin.
Mm-hmm.
do crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess like pork rinds are delicious, so I can't really say anything.
I ain't surprised. Ever since I was watching Mugiwara no Goofy and he called him Luffy a crackhead, going back to watch this, it all makes sense. Luffy's
but I just
definitely a crackhead.
it makes sense. But he ate the guts and everything, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, Luffy's crazy, dog. And then he starts eating mushrooms that like change your mood. Like there's one that makes you angry, one that makes you laugh uncontrollably, and then he screws around and eats one that turns you into a mushroom, like slowly turns you into a mushroom. And so some scantily clad women find him passed out in the woods, and they take him to the doctor. The doctor sets him on fire. They go to clean the scantily clad women go to clean him in the river. They're just like, oh, we missed one mushroom. And it wakes him up because they try to rip his dick off. And then they realize it's a guy, not a girl. And then he wakes up in jail. And like you were saying earlier, the first thing he thinks about when he wakes up, he goes, where am I? Where's my hat?
Mm-hmm.
And then he sees somebody wearing the hat and immediately takes it. And what's crazy is like that hat, in the grand scheme of things, probably isn't that rare. Like there's probably other people with similar hats in the world. So the fact is he knows his hat so well that he's just like, nope, that's mine. You know? Because it could be,
agree.
like there could be like other stuff. The Amazon Lily and the Knights, however we want to, the Kujas, I guess is what we should call them. They're impressed by Luffy's family jewels, which is really stupid. Luffy escapes. He learns about this thing called hockey that's not going to be important later. I'm lying. It's the most important thing in the entire show, arguably. Like, it matters more than devil fruits. From there, he escapes with Marguerite. I think that's how you say her name, right?
Margaret.
Oh, it's Margaret. I hate the Japanese spelling of the name because it's spelled Marguerite.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Why it's spelled like that. Or Marguerite is how it's spelled. In the manga. And I hate it. And in the card game. Because they use the Japanese names for the card game.
Mm-hmm.
He kidnaps her to ask her questions. I almost forgot. He's sad that the clothes that she needed him
had the flowers and stuff on it.
But also, if you think it's an interesting color palette, because like if you want to apply color theory to One Piece, sort of like how his original color palette is the sun rising, and then the Enies Lobby color palette is the sun setting, you know.
Sort of, yeah.
This one with the light blue would be like the midday sun, like the sun like way up in the sky. Mm-hmm. Because he's wearing the light blue, and then it's not like but it's like the sun has risen up in the sky, because it's like straw hat, the yellow straw hat, because he's wearing a sky blue shirt now that Margaret gave him, sky blue, so it would be this sky blue, and then his blue pants would be the ocean. And there's no way Oda does that on accident.
I don't think anything he does is on accident.
Well,
at this point,
I think some stuff is just because it has to be.
But the percentage of what's accidents probably is astounding.
It's probably more than 50%.
No, like accidents?
No. I'm saying that it's not an accident. Like at least half of it's not an accident.
I would go so far as say at least 65%.
I think it's closer to 75% of it's not accidents.
I was being generous.
But I'm just to play devil's advocate, where I'm just gonna say at least 51% is not an accident. But I just think it's fitting because
at that point you gotta realize like a lot of planning and stuff goes into story making. Like you can't just make a story. Just like it's a lot. Like me as a person who's done it and is doing it, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Like you got to take a lot of factors.
But also like this is like very small. Like just like the color of Luffy's shirt and shorts changing.
I mean, yeah. Compared to everything else that could be grander scheme,
Yeah. But there's just
But it's a satisfying detail.
Yeah, it's just too, especially like the trim is white that she puts on it, right?
Yeah.
It's white and fluffy that he asked her to take off, and then there's flowers. So you could say like she took the clouds off, so it could be a clear sky.
Yeah.
And like the flowers on it could be like the shapes that the clouds make. You could see it that way. And so it's like that also fits in it. So that's what leads me to believe that the color, because later on when he gets a purple shirt, it's like the twilight sun. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it just fits too well in my opinion. But he finds out that Boa Hancock's coming back. Boa Hancock's one of the 7 warlords of the sea. And her devil fruit power is broken.
For the most part, yeah.
Well, like, so against, like, for a normal person with it, it's probably not that powerful. Mm-hmm. But because specifically she has it.
Yep.
So the thing that makes her special is she's supposed to be the most beautiful woman in the world. And everyone acts like it. Well, almost everyone acts like it. Like, everyone, like they introduce her kicking a puppy. Like, that's how fucked up she is. She kicks a puppy, but everyone's just like, that stupid dog got in her way. Like, that's how beautiful she is, that everyone's like, blames the puppy for being in her way. Or was it a kitten? I'm pretty sure it's a puppy. But she, like, the first time we see her, she kicks a puppy because it walked in her way. And everyone's just like, stupid puppy, you're not supposed to be in the way. Mm-hmm. And then you find out her power is she can turn anyone to stone that has impure thoughts about her.
Yep.
And it works on the Kuja pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that the Kuja pirates lust after Boa Hancock.
No, it just says impure thoughts. You know, impure thoughts go so far as like jealousy and envy and stuff too. Well, yeah,
that's true.
It makes sense if she's the most beautiful woman in the world around a whole bunch of women, she could turn them to stone because their input thoughts would be jealous of her. That explains why when we were introduced to Momonga and his whole crew, when she did her power, her whole crew turned to stone, but he didn't because he has more discipline over his emotions than that.
What's the guy? He stabs himself in the hand.
Well, yeah, that too. But still.
Because Boa points out, like, the only reason you were able to not... And she's like, I respect it. She says, like, I respect the, mental fortitude to do that.
Yeah, but still, a part of it was his mental fortitude. Because it's,
what's it called? You can't, if your brain is absence of impure thoughts at the time that she uses the love beam or whatever it's called, it doesn't work. True. Or it's called love mellow? Or is that the Japanese?
Mellow. Whatever.
Yeah, but, and if you couldn't guess already, there is somebody that's completely immune to it, which is hilarious. So the Marine showed up to tell her, like, you got to come with us to fight a war against Blackbeard, or I was given permission to lead sea to your island of Amazon Lily. Mm-hmm. She's just like, you can think that, but, like, I just turned everybody in your crew to stone, and you're stuck here with a knife in your hand. So you can do what you want, big dog. And walks away. Which is hilarious. Like, you gotta admit, that's pretty gangster. She's like, I just defeated your entire crew with one attack, left you here with the hole in your hand. Mm-hmm. Like, you just got halfway crucified. Like, and you can sit on your ship.
It's still crazy because they're in the calm belt, so it's like, bro, you only getting out of there like with your crew. Like, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing.
Don't remember the Navy ships are special. They have
they got the paddles on them, but I'm pretty sure those paddles are operated by the crew.
That's true, but also like the bottoms are made with sea prism stone now
to reflect
like
the sea beast.
Yeah, so sea beast.
But there ain't no wind in there.
But that's what makes Amazon Lily ship so OP, is that
because it's being pulled by the snakes.
Yeah, but that's also what's weird is how fast
ship too.
Yeah, but the Navy ship was way faster than her ship, which is weird. Because the Navy ship could do it in 4 days. Hers would have done it in 5. So that's like 25% faster.
Yeah. So I also don't think she prides herself on speed.
That's true. The ship is like a really weird shape.
Yeah.
But
whereas the Marines would, of course, because I'm pretty sure she also can't, like, doesn't have a defense against the sea beasts. Like how the Marine ships have that defense to the sea beasts.
Well, hers is pulled by a special sea beast, so it probably doesn't want to fuck with them.
I mean, but still, some of them could get ballsy.
Like, there has to be a reason why it doesn't attack it. That's special. It's probably an SBS or something. But after that, she's just like, me and my sisters are going to take a bath, clear the castle, and we learn a little story about how they defeated the Gorgon demon monster thingy, and it left its eyes upon their back. So if anyone sees their backs, they get turned to stone. And when you hear that, you're just like, that sounds like a bunch of horse shit. And then Luffy's just like, wait a minute. If their pirate queen's back, I can ask to borrow their ship. And if I ask to borrow their ship, they can take me back to Sabaody. So if I was the leader of the pirates, which building would I stay in? The biggest one. And then he just breaks into the biggest building. Mm-hmm. And sees Hancock naked. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, I've seen a symbol like that before. And she's like, you've seen a what? Because she has a symbol on her back. And then Luffy immediately gets arrested. And fast forward a little bit, and he's in a pit. And we're almost to where the what's it called is the episode's end. We're only like 6 episodes away from last week being over. Maybe even less.
What you mean?
Because last week's episodes end like when they leave. That's only like a couple episodes away.
You talk about when they leave Amazon, Lily?
Yeah.
Yeah, we already there.
So
last week's episode ends when they first go to Impel Down.
Yeah, it's like the first episode of Impel Down.
But we pretty much there.
Yeah.
Because they just, only thing, because like what? He sees the symbol and he pretty much knows it. Then they end up arresting him again. And they end up sentencing him that he has to fight. And then he ends up going.
First Marguerite shows up. It's just like,
yeah,
please
Marguerite.
don't. I brought him here to save him because I thought it was a woman. Please don't hurt him. I deserve it. And then Sweet Pea and the other one were just like, we helped her. Yeah. We didn't know it was a man. We're sorry. Please forgive him. They get turned to stone, and it pisses Luffy off.
Like, big time. Because
he doesn't like, these people sacrifice stuff to help him, and he doesn't like people. He wants people to hurt him. He doesn't want them to hurt other people. Mm-hmm. And so the cat shows up and acts like it's about to break the stuff. So he hits him with Gum Gum rifle and instantly just turns the cat's lights off. Like, instantly, like, cat goes to sleep. So the other two Sanderson sisters attack. Luffy gets his butt kicked for a second, and he's just like, oh yeah, that's right, I can go gear 2. And then just starts beating the crap out of both of them.
Yep. That's pretty much how it went.
And, like, Luffy learns, like, starts to understand what hockey is because they can use hockey. And then Luffy gets pissed when Hancock says something about the statues. Luffy gets pissed and shows off his Conqueror's hockey by knocking out almost everyone in the crowd.
That was when they was about to do something to Margaret's body.
Yeah. And he gets super pissed, and he's just like, don't you dare touch her.
I said, leave her alone.
That's it. I said, leave her alone. And it knocks out almost the entire crowd.
Yep. And he don't even know.
And it's also impressive because almost everyone in Amazon Lily has mastered basic hockey.
Yeah.
So the fact that his Conqueror's hockey is so strong that it knocked out hockey users is impressive.
And that was the point, because it's like, he's there.
It shows that his is even probably stronger.
The Amazon Lily people, the people of Amazon Lily was supposed to be the ones that, like, okay, we know what hockey is. We can pretty much understand the basics of it. Luffy comes in knowing no hockey at all, no feats other than this one Conqueror's hockey feat, to the point that it was so strong that it knocked out capable warriors of the Kuja Pirates.
Yeah, there's only like one person's awakening that was more impressive.
Yeah, and literally, like, he don't even know what the heck he just did. Like,
he's
he doesn't
like,
know what's going
go to
on.
Sleep.
Yeah, and everybody just looking around like, well, like, he really just did that. And it's like, okay, we still gonna kill you though. And I think that's when he still goes to that fight with Sandra Sonia and Marigold.
And he wins the fight, but one of them is about to fall off. And he notices the coat falls off.
Marigold did some fire attack and it hit Sandra Sonia in the back. And this is the point. So
he jumps on her back to cover it. It's just like, everyone get out of here. I was told that y'all can't see it or y'all turn to stone, so get out, everybody. And then Boa's just like, wait, he would sacrifice his life to save his sister.
And that was the thing. And this is a moment right here that just lets you know that Luffy really, like, he might want to kick their ass, but at the same time, he got mad respect for their own personal, like, traumas and stuff. Because for him to only previously see that mark for maybe a small second and see just how it affected Boa, because that's the only one he saw. He saw how
the story.
Yeah.
Marguerite tells him the story.
Yeah, but still, for him to see it and only see how it affected Boa that one time and off the story, to just come right back around and cover it, but to help them out.
Also, remember, the reason that he covers it is because he doesn't ruin the sanctity of the duel. Yeah. Like, that's his intent. He's like, stop trying to ruin the sanctity of his duel. Whenever they kept going after the statue, Sweet Pea, Marguerite, and the other chick, it's like, you're messing with the sanctity of our duel. Like, he takes it seriously. Like, he doesn't care if he wins the duel or not. He just cares that the duel's
like
fair.
To help them too, like in the same breath. So the sanctity of the duel is something Luffy's always prided. That goes back to Little Garden.
But it's like, the big thing is that it shows is that he doesn't care who wins the duel, or he doesn't care if he wins anything. He just cares that he played the game correctly. Yeah. Which makes him makes him a very endearing character.
But go even deeper, because played the game correctly, it's like he could have, like, you add the aspect in of him caring about that secret, because
he didn't want to win in an underhanded way. He wanted to win correctly.
Of course, but think about what he could have did. He could have easily, like, just picked her up and slammed her back down or something. Yeah. Like, he was definitely strong enough to do that. Like, pick her, her back showing, pick her up, slam her on the back over here. It's like, no, he went the thing that would hurt her the less physically, because she's also in distress right now, because she knows how important that mark is. She knows if they see that, that'll be bad. Of course, Boa would not.
It would destroy the entire island. Like, it would destroy their entire hierarchy, like how their society functions.
But then also knowing who's going to take the brunt of that first, it would be Hancock.
Yeah, so they all get exiled and thrown out and everything.
And so Luffy doing that, jumping on top of her to cover that mark up, it's like I say, like him, you had to have a degree of care for their tradition and their mark in order to do it like that. Yeah. And it's like you said, he doesn't care about what happens in the game. He just wants to win correctly. Like, don't stay in the duel, just fight him straight up.
Well, also, it's also not just I don't even think he wants to win correctly, because, like, he doesn't want to lose, but he's fine with losing if he loses a fair fight. Yeah. Because he's just like, that just means I wasn't good enough. Like, that's correct. Like his whole thing is like, as long as it's done properly, I'll respect the outcome of it. And to me, that's what makes Luffy an endearing character. Like, especially like in Dressrosa, where you see is like he actually has it down. And like his entire thing is like, like with the Bellamy thing, like you see like he's finally like understands what it means, like outside of the abstract thing. Like, it doesn't make you feel bad. Yeah. But it just shows like who he's gonna be later.
Yeah, like specifically how he treats someone who's not even his friend. How he has that much
someone
care.
That's trying to kill him.
Yeah, for someone who's literally trying to do him harm says the most about his character. But just how it says the most about his character, of course, Boa and them pick up on that, and that's pretty much the end of their fight. Because they now Boa's pretty much head over heels in love with Luffy now.
Well, remember, that's the thing that made her like him. The thing that makes her fall in love is she said, I'll either take you where you want to go or I'll unfreeze them. And he just immediately says, please unfreeze them, and kowtows. And he laughs. He's just like, just unfreeze him. He's like, I'll get there. I'll get back
I get
to
there
Sabaody.
anyway. Like, regardless.
That doesn't matter.
Like,
I got a debt to pay to these people. I owe these people my life.
And please unfreeze just goes right back to it. Because he, like, literally, he put his own, like, him getting back to Sabaody, I feel like to him was already set in stone. Like, he gonna get there regardless. He don't care whether he use your ship, somebody else's ship, a barrel. He don't care. But
build
those
a raft
people,
that'll fall apart.
Yeah, but those people, you know, helped him. Those people made sure he was okay when he was about to die from the mushrooms, brought him back. So please unfreeze him.
Yeah, yeah.
And that,
they sacrificed their lives for his.
Exactly, which is definitely something that his adversaries and peers have not done or would have been willing to do in that situation.
Yeah, because even Hancock says there's no way he's going to say unfreeze them. It just shows how short-sighted and cruel men pirate can be. And then he just immediately says unfreeze them.
Yep.
And then he smiles like a big-ass grin and then kowtows and then gets back up smiling.
Yep. Did it with a smile on his face.
Yeah, and then they have a banquet and the little girl sells touching Luffy's face for $20. That cracked me up so much. Because
OnlyFans before OnlyFans.
Yeah. OnlyFans. Only stretch because they keep stretching his face.
Yeah, that junk retarded.
But the thing is, they think all men can do that.
Yeah, because they're that naive when it comes to men.
It's the first man they've ever seen. And then Luffy gets invited to go to the castle. Hancock's sick, like deathly ill, because the women of Amazon Lily get this special sickness that they die from if they don't get the treatment for, which is why so many women leave Amazon Lily. It's if they find the man that they fall for, they have to be with that man or they die. Which is kind of weird, but it makes sense if you think about it. You know, from like a sense of like how else would there be people in Amazon Lily? Because like you can only do be all women in Amazon Lily for a generation, and then apparently there's the law that if you have a kid you have to bring it back to Amazon Lily. But it's and Luffy is that for Hancock, the one that she falls into love sickness for. And what another thing is, you seeing how good of a person Luffy is makes Hancock behave like a better person. Like at first she was magging on Granny Neon.
She was the person that really didn't care about other people at all. Was very rude to people, not apologetic and stuff. And as soon as she fall in love with Luffy, she caters for every freaking thing he does. She's nicer.
Well, it's not just, remember, Luffy's just why are you so mean?
Yeah.
And then she stops being that mean because
she's trying to change for the better of him. But the stuff, literally, she end up being real caring towards him. Getting everything he needed for his trip, making sure he had food, change of clothes, and it was a whole bunch of stuff that she went out of his way for.
She ate 50 kgs of food a day.
Yeah.
Or no, a meal.
Yeah, she went crazy. She definitely went crazy. And when you think about it, even to go so far, she probably had been knowing Luffy half a day.
Not even that.
You know what I'm saying? And she got a whole position that she was just willing to just throw away.
She literally turns into Sanji. For Luffy.
For real. Literally, Sanji for Luffy, but even that,
it's even worse because Sanji's just what, Nami, did you just say you love me? But every time Luffy compliments her, she says, wait, did you just ask me to marry you?
Yeah.
She's there's a point where she's having hallucinations about Luffy saying that he loves her.
Well,
it's crazy. But she shows the mark to Luffy on her back when they're in there. And they learn that it's not the Gorgon's eyes he was told. It's actually she was kidnapped when Luffy was 1 year old. Because she's 11 years older than Luffy. When she was 12, she was kidnapped. Her and her sisters were kidnapped by celestial dragons, and Fisher Tiger.
Yep, Fisher Tiger
freed her.
In that raid that he got out.
When you learn the truth about that raid, is crazy. We're gonna learn that in about 4 weeks, I think.
Roughly.
Yeah.
No, it would be.
5
I think
weeks?
3. Well, no, it would be
No,
about
because
5
we
because we got
gotta-
to go deep in fish.
What's it called?
I understand that.
It's gonna take an entire week to do the Sabo episodes.
Even that, like, because you still
that's
got
like 15 episodes.
the
rest of Marineford.
You know, Sabodi Part 2, then them actually traveling to Fishman Island. Then we got to get into like Fishman Island.
And then the Three
stuff.
Brothers mini arc. It's like 15 episodes.
Yeah, because we don't find out about Fish or Tiger till like the
Halfway
second
through
half.
Where we figure out why Arlong is so pissed.
Yeah, the second half of Fishman, but we'll get there.
But we learn Fish or Tiger, freedom, and they had to pretend that way they wouldn't know, the people of Amazon Lily wouldn't know they were slaves, because if they know that they're slaves, the Celestial Dragons still have a claim on everyone with the mark.
Yep.
That's the big thing. It would give the Celestial, especially with Boa Hancock being the most beautiful woman in the world, that would give them a lot of reasons to kidnap her.
Especially since she's already, like, technically speaking, because I don't believe for a second that them getting the 7 Warlords of the Sea title really changed anything. Like, besides them just saying, hey, Marines, we're just not going to mess with y'all that much anymore. Yeah. But, like, nah, if they would just find out that she was a slave, I would 100% don't doubt the Celestial Dragons would came and collected on their property. Like,
well, yeah, especially, like, because they like feeding people devil fruits just to see what will happen. That's how they got their devil fruits. It's not because they wanted them. They were just like, what would happen if we, because they didn't know what devil fruits they were. They were just like, what happens if you eat this fruit, little girl?
And then they fucked up and they gave her one of those crazy ones.
Well, also, like, when she's 12, it's not that OP, but now that she's in her 20s,
grown and,
because she's I think she's 27, because she's 11 years older than Luffy, and Luffy is 16.
He's 17
or 17 now, so she'd be 28.
Yeah, but but you see all that, and now we're going to them actually trying to get to Impel Down, which, like I said,
first
she really
he see the Granny Neon's talking to Hancock, because Hancock and Luffy are eating dinner together.
You going back? I don't know.
Well, no, it's right after that. They're sitting on the thing, and he yeah, I got this Fever card for Riley. And then someone says something. He's like, oh, yeah, I got one for Ace. I wonder what's wrong with it.
Oh, yeah, when he finds out.
Yeah, and then
we first finds out what's actually happening. I'm
Granny
getting ahead of
Neon's just like, he's about to be killed, executed.
Like, his life is in grave danger.
And then
she told him, because, wait, they found out no, they didn't find out in the newspaper. She told him.
No, she's reading the newspaper. Granny Neon's reading the newspaper while he's eating with her.
Yeah. I knew I'd seen the newspaper.
And then he's just like, what? He's dying, and he's just like, Hancock, I have to ask you, instead of going to Saba Odi, can you take me to Impel Down? And she gets like the little hard-ass thing, and it's just like, anything for you, Luffy.
Me.
Yeah.
He needs me.
Because he says, Hancock, I need your help to get to Impel Down. And she loses her mind.
Oh my God.
She gets a couple of wet spots.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And then the next morning, she kicks a seal and a kitten, and Luffy calls her out on it. I love that Luffy's just like, what the heck's wrong with you? And then,
oh man.
Then they get on the ship, just like, I'll come with you, but I have 3 rules. I gotta wear this big ass coat. You can't ask me questions about it. I want 50 or 100 kg of food each meal, and no one's allowed to watch me. And then she just sits in the cabin, and a bunch of people try to peek at her.
Oh yeah, you talking about when she was traveling? Cause they didn't
and I love
her
it.
shit.
There's no way that she said I'm stuffed, and she opens the door and says I'm stuffed, and then they all faint because they think it's really hot.
Yeah, no, that was a little bit crazy, that little part.
Yeah, and then we get to Impel Down, and we learn that Magellan ate the venom fruit. The venom fruit's kind of OP. Like, I think it's the strongest paramecium type fruit we've seen thus far.
Yeah.
Because, like, half the time he's not even going half strength, because he can't go full strength in Impel Down, or he'd kill everybody.
Yeah.
Because he's so OP. It basically lets him create and control venom, but it doesn't work like a Logia. We'll get to the poison Logia in like 6 weeks, I think. because there's an actual Logia version of the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But Magellan's OP. He's addicted to eating poison, and apparently he's immune to the effects of poison. But it's just that the human body can't digest poison, so that's why he's in the bathroom all the time.
Yep. It's literally because his body just can't process it. It ain't because it hurts him. He just can't process it.
So Impelled Down is basically a giant
prison, pretty much.
I believe it's 7 stories.
7 layers.
I'm pretty sure there's one up under 6, which is people that knew about the Void Century is how they describe it. It's people that the world government wanted to disappear.
Yeah.
Is in 6.
Yeah.
Or not 6,
well,
but 7.
I mean, they don't even count the first level either, do they? I don't even think they count the first level.
I think the first level starts when you're underwater.
Yeah.
They don't because there's a castle on the top.
Yeah.
Because it's an island and then connected to it. So, it's how they show the picture.
So they don't count the first level. Then we finally descend. That's when it goes 1 to 6, and then it's a 6. Another one under 6.
Yeah. Boa uses her OP powers to let Luffy free in the middle of one.
Cavity search.
Yeah. And the powers are OP though because it makes them forget everything around the moments when they're frozen.
Yeah.
So she's oh, you've already searched. Yeah. Just go ahead and put the cuffs on me. And it works on any living. Big question. What impure thoughts did the fucking transponder snail have?
Probably something we can't translate.
That's something have you thought about that?
No.
Because she turns the transponder snail in the room to stone. So that means that the transponder snail had impure thoughts about Hancock. Because Luffy's the only person that she's ever seen immune to her power. Because he has no impure thoughts. He's just straight, I want to be Pirate King. That's all his thoughts are about. That and food. But it just cracks me up that it works on
most thing. I ain't even going to try to explain that. I ain't even. Because they ain't even talked the whole show.
They're working on girls makes sense. They're jealous of her. They wish they're envious, all that stuff.
But an animal, though?
Not just an animal, a transponder snail. They haven't been shown to have their own intelligences.
I mean, they have. Well, in Dressrosa, they will. Because in Dressrosa, we find out that they're actually in the wild, that you actually have to go get them. But to do the modifications to make them a transponder snail is the expensive part. Cause
what's it called? To be long range, because the Tontatas just have ones that are just normal.
Yeah.
But they still work in the city.
Yeah.
Their city. The Tontatas are cool. We'll get to there.
No, they are.
We're not even 3 months away from them, I don't think. Because that's episode 600.
No, it's
it's 720, I think.
7 somewhere.
When they first show
I know Whole Cake starts at 800. 800 goes all the way to Wano, and it starts right
that. I just know because I just know Sanji gets his raid suit at 860 something.
Somewhere around
but he doesn't use it until Wano.
Somewhere around there.
And then, so they're Impelled Down. Turns out Buggy escaped because nobody knew that he had a Devil Fruit power. It turns out Buggy's just a weakling, but his Devil Fruit is actually OP. You know? He can't die unless the person has mastered Haki. So, his Devil Fruit's actually, legitimately overpowered.
Oh, yeah. Not Buggy for real. His fruit's actually insane when you really think about it. Because he showed it on full display in his art. The fact that he can fly as long as he got his feet by him.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what his thing does when it's awakened.
That's
it's gotta be broken.
That's gotta be the most anticipated Devil Fruit awakening in One Piece right now.
What's it called? He's had it for 20-something years.
A long time, yeah.
Yeah, he got it when he was on Roger's crew on accident.
But we also know that age don't really matter because we see how, Roger was older when he decided he was going to be serious and go to the One Piece. And you see Shanks,
Well, no, I'm just saying,
to
be awakened, it makes more sense to
But he has to work it though, in a different way, because Doflamingo didn't awaken his. He was faced with that kind of jeopardy.
Yeah.
But maybe Buggy ain't
Buggy's
really been faced.
Been in that jeopardy a couple
times. His jeopardy's different though.
Yeah.
Because he has to go through something catastrophic for him to change.
But also,
his
it's like one of those
personality.
things like he can't really die by normal means. Like he has to be like drowned or something.
Because awakening is when the body actually catches up to its powers.
I thought it was when the brain catches up.
Something's catching up.
Yeah.
Like to the powers or to the something.
Yeah.
But like Buggy, in a way, is sense. I think he would, because I know in the laters he's like starting to reflect on himself and his decisions a lot. Because I've always been telling, like, we finna see what Buggy gonna do in these later chapters, and I'm always here for it.
Also, what's weird is like Buggy's an engineer.
Yeah.
Like no one thinks like, because wasn't his job on Roger's ship like he in charge of like the cannons?
I couldn't tell you
the cannonballs.
Exactly.
I could have sworn it was like an offhand comment. He was like, Shanks said like, because he considered Buggy his best friend when he was a kid.
Yeah.
But Buggy didn't like him because Shanks had like so much potential and he had none.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was jealous of Shanks, but Shanks thought of him as like his brother. Like he's the one that took care of him when he was so sick that he couldn't go see the what's it called. He's the only one that stayed behind at Laugh Tale.
Mm-hmm.
Which just makes me like Shanks more. Okay, even when he was like 16, he was a cool dude. But what's it called? Buggy teams up with Luffy because Buggy's just like, wait, Ace is here? He's just like, yeah, because Buggy is friends with Ace. And he's just like, okay, then I got to help you get out of here. I'll help you get to the next level, but you got to give me that thing on your arm because it turns out it's like a piece that leads to the treasure Buggy's been looking for since he was a teenager. Captain John's treasure. He was just like, okay, here you go. And she's like, wait, you're just going to give it to me? You know I can just abandon you now? And Luffy's just like...
You said you're going to help me, right?
You're going to help me. And it's just like, I don't think you understand. You said you're going to help me.
This is
and
literally...
he actually jumps into the hole.
It's funny looking at this scene again when you really think about it because, he does the same. He treats every kind of interaction with people like that. Like, your word, you said you're going to do it, so you're going to do it, right? Like, like, just that naivety is just so hilarious. Like, because Buggy is that guy who could literally stab him in the back and keep going, but he don't do it. It's like, even the dude that you're telling this to doesn't even question that you just, yeah, I'm going to help you because I said I'm going to do it. Even though it sounds stupid, like, I could leave you right now, but I'm going to do it because I said I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, bro, for real.
Like, with, in a little bit, another character's gonna, like, find it so endearing that Luffy believes him no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Like,
it's an entire plot point. But they go from the first level to the second level.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No. The first level is the bladed one. I think, right?
You talking about the red level?
Yeah.
No, that's the second level. No,
because 2 is Beast
the
Tail.
first. Hold on.
Yeah. The Crimson Blade Hell is the first
that
one.
Was third.
That's Starvation, and then 4 is Inferno. 5 is Cold. 6 is Infinite, and then 7 they pretend doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So yeah, they go to the first level, and
level 1 is Crimson Hell. So
yeah, Crimson Hell. It's like
Wild
a bunch
Beast
of trees.
Is 2, Starvation is 3, Blazing is 4, Freezing is 5, 5.5 is New Karma Land, and 6 is Eternal Hell.
Yeah. The manga just calls it Infinite Hell.
Yeah.
Means pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
And then there's a 7th level that they
doesn't. They talked about it.
Yeah,
it's not official.
It's just like where like enemies of the Celestial Dragon specifically go. It's where Luffy's probably supposed to be.
Nah, they imprison him on ice because that's where he actually does get.
Well, that's just because he's supposed to die.
Yeah, they caught him and they locked him up on ice hell. So.
But that's just because Magellan hit.
Now at this point in the story, yeah. No, where they are now in the story, 100%. They ain't even.
Well, what's it called? He would be put in. He would be put in 6 if he was actually locked up before he punched the Celestial Dragon, because 6 is if you have over 100 million berry bounty.
Mm-hmm.
But Luffy and Buggy end up in the first level, and Buggy's completely immune to the level because it's all about blades. So he's able to just run through it and not fly through it. And then one of the sea gorillas, the Bogoris, throws an axe. He's like, haha, you missed, when he tries to abandon Luffy when Luffy goes to the next level. And the Bogori is just like, I didn't miss, and points, and he sees that his body's falling. And he's like, son of a biscuit eater. And so his head and feet get pulled in the hole because he can't leave a certain radius of his body.
Mm-hmm.
Or no body part can go far away from the other one. They end up in Beast Tail. Luffy beats up like 99% of the floor. They find Mr. 3 from Baroque's works. They get him to help. Keep going through it. Mr. 3 is pretty useful because he makes a bunch of keys to let people out with his wax powers. More animals from the Beast Tail show up, and they're just like, nope, we're just going to go back inside of our cages because we can't beat these animals. It's like, what the hell, you pussies?
Nah, man, what you mean? I would have did the same shit if I was in their predicament.
I would rather die than be stuck in that prison, dude.
What?
I'm fighting the lion. I'm fighting the lion, dog. I'm just saying, I'm fighting that lion. The lions with the people faces. Yep. I'm fighting one of those.
Definitely.
Especially if I've been stuck in there. Like, screw it. I'm killing the praying mantis with the sword hands. Like, I'm doing something. That's just me, though. Like, I'd rather die than be stuck in that prison.
Oh, that prison sucks.
Yeah. What's it called? There's this weird centipede thing that I just remember it. Because it's not an actual centipede. It's puzzle scorpions stacked on top of each other to look like a centipede. But I think it's just a nice touch that Mr. 3 knew that immediately. Because if you remember, puzzle scorpions live in Alabasta.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the nice little things. Like, we ran into puzzle scorpions in Alabasta. Mr. 3, who was trying to help take over Alabasta, knew what they were. It's just a nice little thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, that he knew what they were. It's just a nice little, world building moment. It's just like, hey, he knows about the entomology my bad. Like the study of insects stuff. Like, he knows about the fauna of the place he tried to take over. That makes sense. They fight the Sphinx, who's the head beast of Beast Tail. Mr. 3 and Luffy trick it into hitting the ground repeatedly, so they break through into starvation hell. It's basically just a giant desert. They hear un, de, gra, and I was just like, God damn it, not this guy again. I think the big problem is his cadence is why I don't like Bon Clay. Like, if he talked different, it probably wouldn't be that annoying. Because he's from a character perspective, what happens, him being a real one is cool. It's just how he talks is annoying.
But did you really expect him to be put into a role like that? Like, real talk. Him, you probably expected that. If Buggy would have did that, it would probably made Buggy much more up on stocks. But him,
it makes it because he did it before. He sacrificed himself before. But it was to make up for what happened last time.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's why he did it. He feels bad about what he did in Alabasta. Yeah, so that's why he gives himself up originally.
But you can say he made up for that when they left Alabasta when he took that rap.
But I'm saying
say he did that before. But to go that far though, that's something that you would expect a Straw Hat to do. Like Zoro, like Sanji, Nami even.
Well, remember, before he knew they were enemies, when they first met, he liked Luffy and gang, so he's just like, we're all friends now. And Luffy's just like, you can never have too many.
The thing about it that makes it special is the fact that, because Luffy would do that for his friends. 100% Luffy would have did that for any one of the people with Straw Hats.
Does do it for him, too, in a little bit.
To see somebody like Bon Clay do it, literally,
his real name is Bentham.
Yeah.
Weird name.
the way I keep seeing it in the wiki was Bon Curé, and I don't even know where the hell that Curé came from.
I think that's the because what's it called? There's not an R and an L in Japanese. So whenever there's one of them, it's like sometimes Zoro is translated to Zolo.
Yeah.
There's not a letter for either of those, so it falls somewhere between those
Luffy
two.
Sometimes it's Rufy.
Yeah. Or like Laugh-Tale was Raftel originally.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why. So that's why his name is like
but
that sometimes.
No, like when you get down to it, like, because that was more of an unpredictable moment in the thing. Because, like, you could have put Buggy in that predicament, could have shot his.
It makes sense, though, when you see Mr. 3, and it's just
No,
like.
I'm talking about just for the part of who was going to look after Luffy. When you think about
we haven't gotten to that part yet, but I get what you're saying.
But, like, you think about everybody in that predicament who could have did that. It's like, yeah, make Buggy do it and make his stuff skyrocket, but why? If you have a different layout for Buggy, then you wouldn't want him doing that. Mr. 3 doing it makes absolutely no sense because he doesn't have that type of pickup for Luffy yet. But, like, Bon Clay doing it, though, it's sending his character to a different atmosphere just to sacrifice him. It was like if
well, he hasn't been sacrificed yet. We're still about 6 episodes away from that.
Yeah, but we're gonna finish it in this for the most part. But
I'm talking about like when he does the Hannibal stuff, because that's the first sacrifice.
He turns into Magellan.
That's episode 451.
Hold on. No, continue.
Oh, but what's it called? They meet Bon Clay. Bon Clay is like teaching a bunch of prisoners how to do his special type of ballet karate stuff. And then he joins them to help them escape. They get captured by Saladeth. Saladeth is a midget with the trident.
Mm-hmm.
And has a white cap with horns. He's the leader of the Bergoli. I forgot what makes him break the net again.
What net?
I think it is Bon Clay that breaks the net.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, oh my God, it's Straw Boy.
Yep.
And then he jumps up and breaks the thing that's holding the net. And then after that, there's what's it called? I just reread it this morning to make sure I didn't forget this, and I'm forgetting it. They're officially level 3, Starvation Hell. The sand's super hot because of how hot the floor up under them is. And so they have to push through it being hot. It completely negates number 3's powers. So he's basically useless because his entire fighting style is based around his powers of the wax fruit. So he's completely useless to him. They fight through a few more Bergoli, and then they get to 4. We see, what's her name? We see a couple things with Ace. He's sitting next to someone named Jinbei, who's a warlord of the 7th Sea who got thrown in prison because he refused to take part in the war and tried to stop it because he didn't want any one of Blackbeard's crews to get hurt. Or not Black, but Whitebeard, because Whitebeard's the one that protects Fishman Island from all the new pirates in the pirate era.
Yeah, he's got their protection.
Yeah, he's single-handedly the one that keeps Fishman Island from being overran. So Jinbei has great respect for Ace and Whitebeard, so he tries to stop the war to prevent his home from being destroyed. But also Jinbei a straight real one.
Of course.
Like A's probably the second strongest warlord because he is fucked up because he got tortured when he got thrown in prison, but he's still able to beat like Gecko Moria when he gets to Marineford. I think it's Gecko. It's one of them that he like knocks out. But also, he's mastered hockey at this point. He just doesn't use it in front of us. Mm-hmm. But he's a master of armament hockey at this point. So he also doesn't use a devil fruit. He's just the greatest practitioner. He's in all of the people on Fisherman Island. He's called the greatest user of Fisherman Karate. Mm-hmm. It's just that there might be some people not living on Fisherman Island that are better. Yeah. Like the dude in the Revolutionary Army.
Yeah, Hack.
Yeah, he might be better because he teaches humans how to use it, so he probably uses it more. So he might be better, but we just don't know.
He might be more proficient with the basics, but Jinbei might got him on some of the advanced stuff.
The big thing is Fishman Karate is hacks because it's just water bending. If you use it in water.
Hacks is in the term, not the character. Okay.
Yeah. Hacks, like, because when you're in water, it's just water bending. Like, it's OP as shit.
Yeah.
And then, like, how it actually works out of water is kind of OP too. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, it works like
pressure.
Yeah.
Like the same, like him doing brick fists in the water is enough pressure to move the water. So him doing it out of water.
There's 3 different brick fists.
Yeah, like 10,000 stuff. But I'm just like,
but there's also arabesque, which is where it doesn't punch in front of you; it punches the thing behind the thing in front of you.
Yeah, I'm like him just using those same pressure out of the water to just do the damage itself.
But it just like,
and then he also doesn't even have to hit you. It was like the one he does where he just punches.
Arabesque brick fist. He can punch behind things.
Not even behind, like it's delayed.
No, there's one when he first in the manga. It might just be weird looking, but instead of hitting the guy that's right in front of him, it knocks all the people behind him down.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's he calls it arabesque.
I'm talking about the one where he punches and it's just delayed. He did it on Who's Who.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. It's got crap. I can't think of the name, but it's like 10 times stronger than 10,000 fist brick.
Yeah.
It's like a special.
That's what I don't know. He finished. I don't know.
I know what you're talking about.
I gotta go back and look.
I don't remember it now, though. Be wrong. I don't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about. But yeah, so Jinbei is OP as shit. And deservedly so. He's one of the few original warlords. Like, it's him, the one Ace beat up, Doflamingo, Kuma. I think those are the original ones. And everybody else took over for somebody.
I couldn't tell you. Maybe
Draco and Mihawk was on it. But I know 3 people aren't original warlords. We know that much. So we meet Jinbei for a second. And he's just like, I don't want Blackbeard to go to war because Blackbeard's a good dude and doesn't deserve to be hurt. Whitebeard. I keep saying Blackbeard. Also, Whitebeard's like one of the hardest people when he grew a mustache and told everyone to call it a beard. You know what I mean? He's just like, he's hard. He's just like, I got a mustache, but all of y'all are calling me Beard.
And even in no point in his in his flashbacks was it ever a beard.
Yeah, it's always also what's weird is why do he grow white facial hair when you normally grow facial hair that's the same color as your actual hair?
I don't know. I have no idea. He had a white beard when he had a blonde hair. I don't know. It might be one of the same things.
He had Fabio blonde hair too.
Yeah, like
shoulder length, flowy, kind of curly.
Like Thor-esque.
Yeah, Thor-esque. Like Chris Hemsworthy.
Yeah. For real.
But I just it's a good character moment where you see Ace has the respect of Jinbei, and then Ace is just like, I respect my brother, so Jinbei respects Luffy because Ace has earned his respect, and Ace and Luffy see that if my brother respects you, I respect you, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we see them get close to tier 4, and then it goes back to the floor with level 6 because Magellan and Hancock show up. Everyone's losing their shit over how pretty Hancock is, except for Jinbei and Ace and Crocodile.
Ace?
Yeah. Ace, Jinbei, and Crocodile are the only ones on the floor that don't say anything about how beautiful Hancock is.
You talking about When she first shows up.
Yeah, when she gets down at level 6.
Yeah. She first shows up.
They're like the only ones not losing their mind. Mm-hmm. And she even starts a mini riot. Like, she uses her beauty to start a mini riot. That way she can whisper to Ace that Luffy's here to save you. Mm-hmm. Real quick. Which was very clever.
Oh, yeah, she ain't dumb.
Like...
She ain't dumb by a long shot.
She tricks them all by, like, making a cute pouty face and saying, like, you're all scaring me. And then it pisses Magellan off. And Magellan's just like, I'll kill you all if you scare her. And then she whispers it to Ace. Ace is just like, oh my God, my little brother's such an idiot. Oh my God. I do like that he's just like, you're in over your head, little bro. And then...
He's always been like that, though.
Yeah.
He's always been like that, always been a brother looking at him like he don't got to do all this stuff.
Most of the time. There's like the 6 months where he couldn't stand the grass that Luffy walked on.
No, I'm talking about later.
Yeah, I know what
when
you
we
mean.
Seen him in Alabasta, he was always like, he could be a handful going over the top.
So, Hancock leaves. Magellan goes to meet Luffy and them on the 4th floor. They get to the 4th floor. We see Mr. DeBones kill a man. Like, this dude goes crazy and he just straight up hit him with the log and knocks him into the boiling river. Then we get Luffy's first Magellan fight. And it's much closer than you would expect. You know, like, because they hype up Magellan as being unbeatable. But it turns out the reason that he's unbeatable is because you can't touch him.
That's it.
Like, so, like, even if you had hockey, like, he'd be really hard to beat. Because you just can't physically touch him.
Yeah, because it's not like hockey stops the effects. It just makes it to where you can damage him. Yeah. But you'll still get affected.
So it makes you wonder, could Blackbeard beat his ass easy? And Blackbeard's just stupid?
No, I definitely don't think Blackbeard could beat him.
But like, Luffy actually gets the upper hand for a second, but then Luffy, like, the poison takes effect, and it's just like, yeah, you didn't stand a chance. And Magellan also
started like, you know what, I'm just really gonna kill you now.
Or not necessarily kill, but leave you in a position where you can do nothing but die.
Yeah, like, he really just, like, I feel like Magellan, literally Magellan could have really fucked that whole situation up. Yeah. If it wasn't for the fact that
the only reason he stops is because fighting Luffy makes him have to go to the bathroom. Yep. That's like, he's like, oh crap, I gotta finish this. Yeah. My stomach.
When Magellan ends up finishing Luffy, and you just see, like, the shift in, like, morale. There's one thing I love about, like, One Piece and, like, how
Blind Clay immediately runs away.
Yeah, like, when Luffy goes down, it's like, it's different. Like, it always feels different, like a different atmosphere of the show. Just thinking, like, you know, back to Wano and stuff like that. Even when you go back to, like, Alabasta, when he went down by Crocodile the first time, it just feels different.
Well, it's like, when Luffy goes down, it looks like all hope is lost.
Yeah. And they do a good job, like, capturing that feeling, like, of all hopes is lost every time he goes down. I enjoy it.
Yeah. And then... Also, it's not... Luffy doesn't stop after he gets poisoned. He's got poison everywhere. His lungs are on fire. And he just starts attacking Magellan wildly. Mm-hmm. And he still hurts Magellan a little bit. Like, Magellan's like, man, if he was just a little bit older, he'd be a real problem. And eventually the poison just, like, shuts all of Luffy's stuff down. And then we see... Magellan getting ready to head back, and we see Hannibal and a bunch of guards, just the absolute shit beat out of them. And Hannibal's laying there. Magellan wakes him up. It's just like, you did a good job holding them off so I could get here. I need you to survive. Stay here. I'm going back to go to the restroom. Mm-hmm. And so he goes off, and then you find out that's not really Hannibal. It's Bon Clay pretending to be Hannibal after he beat Hannibal up. And then he's just like, I promised myself when I ran away, I would make sure to get Luffy to safety after Magellan left, because that was the only way I could live with myself if I ran away. And so he grabs Buggy and Mr. 3. It's like, we're going to the cold hell because there's one person that can save him. Ivankov, the queen of whatever kingdom. Kamabaka?
Kamabaka Queendom.
Yeah, this. In my head, I keep accidentally wanting to say queefdom.
Stop it.
No, it's not like that. It's just like the word. It's easier to say queefdom than it is to say queendom. You know what I mean? Like the F sound's easier to make than the N sound. I don't know. It's probably just a me thing, but yeah. So what's it called? Like he calls Ivankov sorry, my headset started making this weird noise, so I was trying to see what that was. He's just like, he's a great miracle worker. He's changed nations. We gotta find him. They say he didn't die. He did this thing called the Devil's Invitation, where someone just disappears. And so he goes off to find him in the frozen hell, taking Luffy, dressed as Hannibal. And he brings Mr. 3 and Buggy along too. And when they're in the frozen hell, there's a special animal called a wolf, army wolf. And they're supposed to be like so ferocious that they'll eat the basilisks. So they have to stay in the frozen hell because they can't go to any other hell, or they'll just eat the creatures there. And so Mr. 3 and Buggy run away because they're scared of the army wolves. But Bon Clay fights them. Bon Clay he beats the first group of army wolves. And then he goes off to find Ivankov by talking to all the prisoners. They were just like, that dude doesn't exist anymore. I don't know who you're talking about. And they're just like, maybe if we go to the woods, there's a little hidey hole where I was hiding. So he goes over there. And when he's over there, they get attacked by a big pack of army wolves. And Bon Clay starts getting the smoke. Like, Bon Clay gets the crap beat out of him. Like, it's bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That whole time you can hear me? Okay,
yeah.
Then it's just these headphones. Cool. That's why I want to make sure these headphones are going out.
You did get louder, though.
Oh, I did get louder?
Yeah. Like than you normally were. This whole time. You just got loud as fuck.
My bad. These headphones have gone completely out, so I don't know what's happening with it. But, what's it called? Bon Clay's getting the smoke from the wolves.
That boy got beat up.
And then Luffy hears him crying out in pain, so he wakes up for a split second and unleashes a ton of Conqueror's Haki, and it looks like the Conqueror's Haki kills the wolves. Like, straight up, he's like, nobody hurts my friend.
Yeah, it was intense. I know which point you're talking about. Yeah.
Like, it's much, like, even more so than, like,
that's even crazy.
Don't touch her.
Oh, my God.
Because the wolves, they just fall over. Like one of them's, like, mid-jump and just goes and crumbles. Like, it's not like at Amazon Lily where they, like, fall over. It's just the wolves just... Like, you know how they, like, foam at the mouth and stuff? The wolves just crumple.
Yeah, they just break
like, just
down.
Full, like, boom. Like, mid-walk and just crumple into a ball. And then they both pass out from their injuries. And a weird-looking man who has an inverted color system on both sides and a wine glass.
Freaking,
And then it ends. Azima? Or however you say his name.
Yeah.
His fruit's OP as shit.
He can cut anything.
Well, it's not just cut anything, but he can also, basically, anything that he cuts, he can control, like, origami. Like, he can do origami with anything he cuts.
Yep.
But that theoretically means that he can do that with, like, the heaviest material on the planet.
Yep.
And so he can make, like, a ninja star out of, like,
freaking
a neutron star and throw it at somebody theoretically.
Yeah, theoretically.
Because he's throwing like heavy shit that Luffy can't pick up that he cut. Like it's not like just like flipping up.
No, I was even. I know
like
we
tons
about to
of
get
bricks.
there, but the fact that he just cut air itself, it's like, oh, gas, gone.
But then he also seals up the place where the gas is coming from, so it doesn't work. Yeah,
done.
Like that is an OP. It's like one of those devil fruits. It doesn't sound OP at the face of it.
It's one of them devil fruits that if they asked us which one we'd want in this real world, it'd be a candidate just because how useful it is.
Well, like
when you ask a Naruto fan, what jutsu could they bring back to life? You say anything but the freaking shadow clone jutsu. You're dumb.
You an idiot if you pick.
Dumb.
Well, okay, no. There's two techniques that I say it's
shadow
fine.
clone jutsu and flying Raijin.
No. There's two others that it's like it's okay to bring them into the real world.
I'm saying that you'd pick.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like those are the two that's just like if those aren't your first and second choice, you're dumb. But there's two other jutsu that are just like okay, I'll allow it. Like it's not as good, but I'll allow it. And they're technically not jutsus; they're techniques. But what jutsu also.
Just say what they are.
The gates and the heavenly breaths.
No. No, that's dumb. You would pick those over.
I wouldn't pick them. I'm just saying I wouldn't call you an absolute idiot if you did.
Why?
Well, just like what's it called? If you pick those, you'd be Captain America.
I don't need to get into
So like that. I'm taking Shadow Clone Jutsu 100% of the time.
No, like literally, there's like no other jutsu you would need in the real world besides Shadow Clone and Flying Raijin. Those should be the first two that you pick.
Well, no, like if you're else.
If you want to be cool, I can understand that. But
no,
as
I'm
far
saying
as
like
what
if you're like an athlete or something like that.
World,
no, what I'm saying is like if you're an athlete or you do like high labor.
You become an athlete though. Like with the Shadow Clone Jutsu, you become anything you want. Like you just take a couple clones, put them through the ringer, and they go through the ringer. You don't feel it. But whatever they get done, soon as poof. Okay,
but you gotta. But using the rules though, we can only realistically make one clone.
Yeah.
So we gotta remember that. Realistically, we can only make one clone at a time.
At least 3. Because Boruto was able to make 3.
Yeah, but he has insane chakra reserves.
No, Boruto doesn't.
No,
Boruto doesn't. He was able to make 3.
But you gotta we'd have at least we'd be 2. Below average.
At least 2.
We'd have below average chakra.
Yeah.
But remember, if you accidentally summon too many, you die.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't summon more than one at a time.
Yeah, but no, I would at least try my best.
But no, I'm just saying,
4.
if you had the 8 gates, you could become the Olympic.
Need the 8 gates.
I know that, but if you wanted to be an Olympic,
why would you want to?
But I'm saying, if that's your actual dream and that's what you want to take, I'll be like, that's fine.
Nah.
I think it's not that smart.
You could literally become anything you want with the freaking Shadow Clone Jutsu, or I wouldn't even say that. I'm gonna say at least you could do a lot more in your everyday life.
Anything that's not absolute physical prowess, you can do with it though. You could become the greatest chess player of all time. You could become.
No, you could compound strengths build with it, with that. But that was good. We understand, but yeah.
So the dude with the OP cut, I think it's called the snip fruit.
Snip, something like that.
Yeah. Takes him to Ivankov. Bon Clay's the first one to wake up. Meets Iva. Gonna call it Iva from now on because that's what Luffy calls him.
Yep.
He's just like, please help Luffy. Luffy's about to die, and he's just like, I already took care of Luffy for you. Yeah, you've been here 10 hours. Yeah, you've been asleep for 10 hours. He's been getting treatment. And the only reason I healed Luffy is because he begged for me to heal you. Yep. And he's just like, what kind of I'd be no better than the government dogs if I didn't help after hearing his cries for plea to help his friend. And that's the whole reason that he helps him. And it was so... I want to talk how aesthetically pleasing it was to hear that Ivankov was like a revolutionary. When you think about the revolutionaries at this point, and at least me, this definitely a me thing, just how they're supposed to be these lone dogs on their own, and Ivankov that made a whole half level of the prison his,
And I thought that was so cool. And then like anybody who would have been able to do that would have to be somebody with the prowess of a revolutionary. And they revealed he was a revolutionary. I was like, yeah, that make a lot of sense. That make a whole bunch of sense.
Yeah, it's like, I guess it's like a charisma thing with the revolutionaries. But the treatment that Ivankov gives him is just, he gives him a fuck ton of hormones.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, there's enough hormones to kill a horse. Hope you live it. You have a 2 to 3% chance to live. Here you go, big dog.
Yeah,
his fingers turns to needles.
Bro, go crazy. Bro, went crazy. Gave that boy the whole treatment.
Well, it's not just what's crazy. Bon Clay wakes up from his fight with the wolves, stands in as soon as he learns where Luffy is, stands in front of the door with Luffy that Luffy's in, and goes, "You can do it, straw boy," for 8 hours straight.
Back to the belief theory.
Yeah, and what's it called? They're so the Ivankov's men are so touched by it that a bunch of them start sitting there and doing it too.
Yep.
And Ivankov even says, like, when Luffy wakes up, he's just like, I think a big part of the reason that you were able to wake up is because Bon Clay spent 8 hours cheering you on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he even says it. He's just like, he spent 8 hours trying to share as much of your pain as possible by cheering you on until he couldn't speak anymore and passed out. Because he didn't stop cheering because he was tired and wanted to sleep. He cheered so much that his body, he just passed out from pure exhaustion.
Yep.
Which isn't like what you think when you see, oh, he's asleep from cheering. No, he cheered so hard that he just passed out, like 100% passed out. Luffy wakes up and eats almost the entire reserve of food that the place has.
That's normal at this point. That boy do that.
Yeah, but it's hilarious.
Every time.
And he immediately digests it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see, because he wakes up and he's
this
like,
is the first time we
anorexic.
saw him do that.
Yeah. Well, not that we saw him like absorb it immediately, but when he goes from anorexic to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it showed the pumping into his arms.
No, this is the first time we saw him like size change off eating. Like first time, like on the screen.
No, what's it called? The Whiskey Peak. He size changes on screen.
What are you talking about?
When he's fighting Zoro, like right after he fights Zoro, he like turns skinny.
What did he eat?
Yeah, remember he's fat from eating and he sleeps and he's fat and then he fights Zoro while he's fat?
No, we're talking about two different things.
Oh.
We're talking about two totally different things.
Are you talking about like getting completely revitalized from eating?
Yeah, like straight up from like eating, like out of it, straight up. Okay, let's go.
It
Like,
might be the first time like
yeah,
that. I thought
like,
you just meant go from fat
like,
to normal.
I mean, like, no, like from eating, like him eating and digest and getting small, all of that in like one panel.
Oh,
like
in
not
one
having
panel.
not having to switch away. Oh, he go do this or no, like just vroom, vroom. Cause we only see it here. We see him do it in Wano for sure.
He does it on
twice in Wano.
He does it
before that.
He does it in the Heart Pirate Submarine.
Yeah. But
He does it in Dressrosa too.
Yeah, he does Dressrosa.
At the end of Dressrosa.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, I need food.
But still, we'll get there. But
Yeah.
because I still find Luffy still weird as hell. We talk about all this stuff, and then you see how you just digest food. And you know, if you watch One Piece, you know what he does in Whole Cake. Come on, man, Tank Man. I still don't fucking get it, but
it's funny.
It's funny as hell. Oh no, you don't get it right. It's funny as hell.
What's it called? Oh yeah, he spends an entire day eating Cracker's armor.
Yeah.
An entire day. It's like 12 hours.
We'll definitely get there. That's something to be talked about.
Like he eats so much of Cracker's armor that it makes Cracker tired. But like his people even ask, like, is Luffy even human? How the hell did he do that? Like, they don't understand what it is. Which, like, maybe Luffy's not human. Maybe he's an alien. Well, we don't. That's a joke. Luffy's not an alien. This isn't Naruto. So, when he wakes up, he starts talking to Ivankov and just calls him Iva. And Iva's just like, you remind me of my friend and comrade Dragon. Oh, are you talking about my dad? And I was just like, yeah, the leader of the Revolutionary Army and a great friend of mine. Wait, your dad? Like, it shocks him so bad that he jumps backwards and smashes into the wall and leaves an imprint of his head in the wall.
Yep.
Because of how shocked he is to hear Luffy. He's like, Dragon has a son? He's like, oh my god, it makes so much sense. Luffy, where are you from? I'm from the East Blue. And then it shows a flashback to Iva talking to Dragon. And he asks Dragon, do you always look in the direction of East Blue because you grew up in the East Blue? And he's just like, don't ask me questions like that again. He's like, what, do you have a secret family over there or something? And he says something along the lines of like, I can't answer those questions because you put us in danger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Dragon real.
Yeah. Wait, what's it called? He's like, what's it called? He threatens to fight Kuma because Kuma keeps asking fucking questions.
We'll get there.
Like, he's just like, you just threatened us, you just sentence us all to death with that talk.
That's not even in anime yet.
Yeah, but it's such a good moment.
Mm-hmm.
For both of those characters. But the big thing with the Iva thing is it shows that Dragon didn't just abandon Luffy. Like, it shows that Dragon wishes he could be there.
Iva doesn't show you that. Kuma shows you that.
Well, no, I'm saying, like, he always looks at the direction of where Luffy is all the time, or where Luffy's supposed to be all the time. Because Iva's been in prison since way before Luffy set off. Mm-hmm. So that flashback would have been set. So he's looking in the direction of Goa Kingdom because that's where Garp left Luffy. So he like you can tell, like, Dragon longs to see Luffy again, but he can't, because if he goes to see Luffy, it means Luffy dies, he dies, and then all his comrades dies too. So it's just a nice little, like, character teaser moment. You know what I mean? Like, it just shows that Dragon actually cares about his son.
I mean, I don't know how you got that when nobody knew who was the son till you just said it.
Well, no, I'm saying in the like the manga specifically, it's the flashback. I was just like, wait, you have a kid? Mm-hmm. Or is it just your home that you miss?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, don't say... He tells him, like, don't say words like that. Like, implying that he's got a family there that he's looking to. So it's just a good bit of character writing that's reinforced later on. And then after that, I was just like, wait, if your brother Ace is here, that makes Ace one of Dragon's kids too. That means it's my solemn duty as a member of the Revolutionary Army to save Ace because he's my comrade's son. So that means it's my responsibility to help you save Ace. So Iva joins Luffy in breaking Ace out of prison. They get down there, find out they're too late. They let Crocodile out to help them. And now they're just trying to get Ace from a Navy ship. Magellan hands Ace. It shows them Magellan hand Ace over after Ace is throwing a fit because of his He's sad that he hasn't seen Luffy yet, and he's just like, Luffy, just get out while you can. Don't come after me.
Want Luffy to get hurt.
Yeah, he doesn't want Luffy to get hurt. At the end, like, he's on his way. He's 5 hours away from getting his head cut off by the government, and the thing that he's worried about is his little brother being stuck in prison. Like, that's good big brother shit right there.
I mean, what else does he really have to worry about at that moment?
I'm just saying, most people would be like, man, I'm about to die. He doesn't care that he's about to die. He just cares that his little brother's.
I mean, I don't think he cared at all, but when you think about the situation he's in, you know, it's like, fuck this shitty situation, but hey, at least it's just gonna be me. Then you get, oh, my brother's here too. Wait a fucking minute. What the fuck he doing here? oh no, you got to get out of here. Because I was already going to die, but you can't die too. It's like it adds a more sour feeling to an already sour feeling.
Yeah.
Like, he himself probably already accepted the fate that he was going to die. However, you put Luffy in that situation, it's like, no, you weren't supposed to be here. No, why are you here? No, you need to go. Like, you need to let me die. And I think that was the whole thing when we get to it, because that's what he really felt. He wasn't really trying to tell Luffy, don't come save him, but don't put yourself in harm's way to save me.
Next week is going to be a really nice moment when he realizes there's no stopping it.
Mm-hmm.
Where he has that little moment. I think it's 20 episodes from now. So Luffy and them run back up. They run into Magellan. Well, before they run into Magellan, Whitebeard shows up because he's just like, I have a genius idea. While all this stuff's happening, I can go to level 6 and get all these really good pirates to join my crew.
He comes in the chaos.
Yeah.
Which was a genius. It really was a genius idea.
Luffy and Blackbeard finally meet. Well, like, he's met Blackbeard, but he didn't know that was Blackbeard, so they kind of, sort of didn't meet. You know what I mean? Like, there's, like... Because Luffy didn't know that was the guy Ace was chasing. And Luffy gets mad. Actually hurts Blackbeard pretty bad. With his 2 shots.
Yeah, he does Blackbeard dirty.
Yeah. Then Blackbeard uses his power on Luffy, and it hurts Luffy because his power is to cancel other Devil Fruit users' power.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you wonder, like, how close would them actually... Like, because the only reason Luffy's able to move right now is because Iva gave him, like, 12 hours worth of adrenaline. And that's the only reason Luffy's able to move right now. So it makes you wonder, like, how that fight would have went. Because Blackbeard's at as close to 100% as you can be. Because he's probably not even tired. Is it messing up or something?
No, it's just loud.
Oh. The master control's on the other side.
That's probably what I hit. Yeah, that's definitely what I hit.
So, it's interesting that, like, how much damage Luffy could do to Blackbeard. So it just makes you wonder when they finally fight, because they're gonna have to fight. You know?
I'm ready for that.
So cause I don't see what we've seen in the dark fruit. I don't see it touching Gear 5, especially when Luffy can go Gear 5 on command. Like, he can't stay Gear 5 that long, but
we'll see when you get there.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. From there, Luffy runs past Blackbeard. Magellan shows up. Magellan one-shots the entirety of the Blackbeards. Just straight up one-shot. He's like, I'm not playing with y'all. He just immediately uses Hydra. Hydra eats them. Like, before Blackbeard can even activate the Dark Fruit's powers.
Oh, yeah.
They get washed immediately. The only reason they survive, we don't find out these episodes, but like the next episode, we found out because they convinced Shiryu, the previous guy, to come with them. He was able to give them antidotes for if they ran into Magellan. And then Magellan chases Luffy and all the Kamabaka people, new Kamabaka Queendom people out.
Yep.
And they have to run up through the floors. We don't have a ton of character moments except for Ivankov trying to stop Izanami, or however you say his name, the snip dude, and Ivankov try to stop Magellan, but they don't stand a chance in hell. They get beat like immediately because Iva originally is just trying to stall Magellan out so Luffy can escape, but it doesn't work. Magellan just immediately beats him. As soon as it starts, like the fight picks up, then Snip dude immediately gets beat by Magellan. Magellan rocks up to Luffy, and Luffy has a genius idea. Mr. 3 makes him wax armor, and Luffy gets an entire magical girl transformation sequence, which is hilarious. And then it does like the Power Ranger Super Sentai thing in the back where it shows like his symbol, like his Jolly Roger after the sequence. Luffy starts doing some good to Magellan, and then Magellan gets mad and uses his ultimate technique, his forbidden jutsu, turn poison red. It's actually called like demon venom or whatever. And it makes his poison so powerful that it slowly destroying the prison that he's walking on. And then it cuts to Jinbei, Crocodile, and Buggy trying to get out. They see all the ships run away because Magellan told them to. Jinbei's just like, I'm a fish man, I'm good at this stuff. Ropes the door off of Impel Down. Crocodile, Buggy, and Mr. One hop on. He takes him over to a ship. They take over one of the ships. Well, actually, they destroy one of the ships, and then they take over another ship. So there's 7 enemy ships out there. Then it cuts back to Magellan being absolutely untouchable by Luffy using this new form. Ivankov's head falls through the ceiling or the floor randomly.
Oh, yeah.
And Ivankov's head is giant right now because that's how he got up there. Was I think he used Hell Wink to throw himself up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And so he uses Hell Wink to throw him and all the people and Luffy out into the water, and then the episode ends. So the big thing with Impel Down is it's basically just Luffy going to hell. It's like the story of... can't remember the Greek dude's name, but he's like a great musician, and he goes to Hades to save the love of his life.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah. It starts with an O. Either. It's like Orpheus or something like that.
Orpheus? No.
It might be Orpheus.
Hold on. Is that the story of Orpheus?
It might be Orpheus. I can't remember. It starts with an O.
Yeah.
Is Orpheus?
Eurydice, the daughter of Apollo. And in the myth, he went down. Yeah, he was a member of our... traveled with them in search of the Golden Fleece. Kidnapped wild animals. I think that's the same thing.
But he like goes into hell, and he's told if you ever look back... Or... So what Hades tells him is that his music's so beautiful that if he can play his music all the way through the trip out and never look back at his wife, that she'll be free and can come back to life. And he gets to right as soon as he's about to get out, he has to turn around to look at her face one time and she disappears. And that's kind of what happens here. As soon as Luffy gets close enough to see his brother again, it turns out that he's too far away now. But it's just... That's what this entire arc just reminds me of, is that myth story.
Yeah, that whole... But, yeah, because... I see it because the thing was Hades cursed Orpheus, said that his voice was so moving that it would, move the living. So he was down there. He said, yeah, she can follow you, but you can't stop singing. You can't look back to see if she's there.
But he's not just singing, he's also got a lyre.
Playing. Yeah, he's playing.
He's got to play a lyre.
And
Yeah.
But no, because in the same metaphor, it's like Luffy's going down willingly for his Eurydice would be his brother, but instead of... And theoretically, he really never really... It's not really so much as Luffy's the one that's following Ace. And Ace, the whole time, is looking back for him. But in a song playing would technically be the sizzling of the Viva card that he really doesn't... No,
I was thinking the playing would be the noise of the riots that he starts.
That would be true, too.
Because the riot starts when he gets poisoned.
Yeah.
That's when it stops. And that's when he... Because if he didn't run into Magellan, he would have saved Ace. If he didn't run into Magellan,
Yeah.
He would have 100% saved Ace and everything would have been good. Because, what's it called? Also, that story causes a lot of other things in Greek mythology to happen. Like, it leads Apollo to be mad at... It makes Apollo mad at... What's it called? It makes Apollo mad at Hades. And then, because... Apollo and Hades are now mad at each other, it like starts a bunch of conflicts between the gods. So it like it causes a bunch of problems, which also like Impel Down causes all the problems for almost the rest of the show.
Yep.
Like it leads directly into every major problem that happens throughout the end of the entire show. So it's just, there's no way Oda didn't know about that story, which in my opinion just makes it so much better. Because like that it has just enough parallels to where it's similar, but then has its own spin on it.
Yep.
And it just adds more weight to everything that Oda does when he does stuff like that. So personally, I just like that stuff, like when it connects to mythology and stuff like that, because it just makes it deeper and makes it less, like, gonna be honest, before we started this journey like this, I wasn't big on One Piece, like, because it was worse than Naruto up to this point. But doing this, like, this podcast where we talk about, like, all the metaphors and stuff in it, it made me, especially when I started reading the manga, like, I started enjoying it because it's not just the reasons everyone told me to watch One Piece, which was that I would enjoy it, but I don't think I would have liked One Piece if it wasn't for this show.
That's okay.
Yeah. But it's just, so next week we're going to get into Marineford, and that's where, like, shit's about to get real. Like, everything changed, like, for the metaphor, because it's going into becoming the lion. It's where he realizes he has to become an absolute beast to be able to protect those around him now, and to have his actual ideals realized. So it's like next week's the start of not in game, but it's like we're definitely halfway through the metaphor next week.
Definitely not in game. Oh, we got a minute for that.
Well, we're not halfway to the metaphor, still a Sabaody Part 2, but Sabaody Part 2 is only 2 weeks away. So I think it's technically 3 weeks away. But yeah. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining us today, stopping by. If there's anything that you think we could work on, any ideas that need to be sharper, anything that you agree with us on, anything like that, let us know down below. I might be getting a camera soon. If there's enough people that say that they'd rather a camera than just this to be in the background, that way there's actually something to look at. Let us know that too. That way we're not wasting money on a camera, because the cameras aren't cheap. Just let us know. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate y'all.
All good.
Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm Corrupted.
And this is Drago.
I don't know if they could hear that, because I couldn't really hear it.
It's Dragon.
And thanks for joining us today.